Gonna do a reloading video for 45 Colt long, and not to piss off my members, this one's gonna be just open to the public. And the reason I'm doing this is for the first reason is the load data I'm given and the powder I'm using is Trail Boss. It's no longer made. So unless you have some of this, the load data in here will be useless to you because you can't get this. But I wanted to give some people who are on the fence about becoming a member, which is $3 a month, $36 a year to help support the channel. I ain't getting rich on this. But to give you an idea of what the videos are about and, see if you'd like a membership. Because I have a policy, anything I give load data or specific loading things to is for members only. Alright, so we started it, and I told you about the bullets. I had my doubts about powder coating the bullets. So I took these, I put some high temp lube on them, and I sized them to 454 thousandths, so 4.454. I sized them, got them ready to roll. I found another couple hundred that are just powder coated and a lot better. Probably that's why they were separated, the coating was better. And if this works out, I may just size them and load some more. Tools we're using, we told you the powder, and I'll get to that later. The die set I have is RCBS die set steel. And now you'd say, well, why did you get an RCBS? Why didn't you get a Lee die set? They're cheaper. The reason I got the RCBS die set is because the seating die has a roll crimp in it. And I like, on my larger revolver cartridges, a heavy roll crimp. And I'll go into that more in detail when I get there. As you can see, the sizing die, the ring's missing and doesn't look used, so I must have went and bought a carbide sizing die, like one Lee carbide size. I don't know where it is. I think it might be in a separate box somewhere. And the expanding die, okay? Since I already have brass, because what I did is set up a thing, I was loading some for some people. So I had this stuff sized. I think I wet tumbled it, maybe, yeah. But that was years ago. And I loaded some cartridges for some people, and I kind of had like 40 of these, which are unprimed. So this is where we're going to kill two birds with one stone. We're going to use our new large pistol primers in 42 of these. And I have a whole bin here that are primed. And these are Winchester, just standard Winchester large pistol primers. So we will compare the two side by side later on when we go out. Alright, I'm not going to bore you with the priming or anything, but I'll show you how we expand the necks or the case to get the bullet to fit in. I also have case gauge, so we can check. We'll take this 45 on Colt. We drop it in, it goes flush, and also it just drops right out. So that means that this will chamber in our firearm. Okay. And as an added bonus, some of these cartridges I'm going to charge with, we have our Lee scoop kit. So after I get prepped to that, I'll show you how we'll charge some of these with a scoop and see how the accuracy is. And then, when we go test it, I'm curious if using the scoop is as accurate as using the powder measure. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to finish priming up these cases, and then we'll get back and go to expanding the necks. Oh, and I forgot to add our test weapon. It will be this Uberti Cattleman, 1873 revolver with a 7-inch barrel. That's what we're going to test our cartridges in. Alright, we're going to set the expanding die, okay, to flare the mouth. And what I did is you get it like halfway down like this, set the lock ring. So that way you just set it there, then make your fine adjustment with the plug up there. But one thing that is critical when you guys ask for tips and tricks, something to do I screwed up the other day, when it comes to set the next die, the crimp die, you're going to need an unflared case. So flaring all your cases is going to throw you off. So we get our gauge, drop one in there, 45 Colt. It falls out, set this aside. We're going to need that to set the next die. Now this die was close, once you get it kind of somewhat set. And then you just go and get your flare adjusted. Bring a few bullets over. And you want to adjust your flare, or stretching the neck. It's kind of close. A little bit more. To where the bullet gets to start in the mouth of the case. A little more. Where it just starts like that. Okay, and that's critical because you don't want to scrape the powder coat. You scrape the powder coat and it's going to lead the barrel. Okay, so that's how you do it. You adjust it to where you get the flare where you need it, but always keep either a brand new case. What I do is take a brand new unfired case and put it with the dies, so I can use that when setting, especially the crimp and some other things. Alright, so now we'll go on. I'm going to flare these and then we'll go on to the next step. Alright, now that we have all our cases flared out and expanded, now it's time to charge powder. And this is where we get into what we have. Trail Boss. I had a lot of good luck with this and I liked it. It's no longer in production, I believe. And if you look at the side there where it says 20 bucks, that's what I paid for a pound of this. That's how long ago I got it. And another blast from the past, our Lee scoop set. Okay, never was one for the scoop method, but Trail Boss, and we'll look at our price tag of $5.95. That's how long ago this was. I can't remember where I got this. I think I bought a bunch of reloading equipment and got this set. Never thought I'd use it, but here we go. Alright, scoops. A lot of people like to do the scoops with this. This powder here, it's very light, it's bulky, and it was very popular for replacing black powder and that. And a lot of people come up with a whole bunch of different ways to reload this. Take a look at it there. And basically what it was is you took a cartridge, whatever the space was between where the bullet was fully seated and the cartridge was its capacity. A lot of people did now, well, it's no longer available, but a lot of people did certain calculations that way. Okay. The load data is still out there, and for this particular cartridge with the 255 grain bullet, it's kind of like 5.8 is the max, but I've also looked up where a lot of people went with 6 grains of Trail Boss. Now the one thing I'm going to do here in another experiment is I'm going to see if I can scoop this Now the only thing about a scoop is you got to have enough room to where you get it level in the scoop. And I was never one for doing the scoops because I didn't think it was that accurate of a way of measuring. And this comes out to about 5.9, it's 1/10, 1 to 2/10 under the 6 grains, which is pretty good. If it's consistently doing that, it would be a pretty good way of measuring this stuff out. So we're going to try a couple of these, and I'm going to do a small number with the scoops, just to see how accurate the scoop method of measuring is. And again, about 1/10 under the 6 grains. Because the strange thing is, when I did meter this, it was in an automatic powder measure. There is some issues about it being very light, and you don't want to compress it. And there are little rings, you really don't want to cut the little rings. So I don't know. We're going to try that and experiment with that also. Alright, so on to the next step. Alright, now we're going to do the seating and crimping part of this exercise. Now, these cases, I told you to take one that wasn't expanded. I was wrong. Take one of these cases that is expanded, because they're not expanded that's why you don't want to expand them too far. Okay, run that up into the die, and then you turn the die down until you start to feel resistance, and that will be where that crimp part of the die is. So then actually even back it off a little and then hand tighten this. Now, take a bullet, run it up the die, and then we turn, this is already, we turn our seating plug and adjust it to where you can see that groove there. Here, this has a crimp groove. So you adjust this down until your case mouth kind of just a hair, where you just can see that groove. Or go just below it, like this. Okay, you just want to see the groove. Now, I'll get back to you with overall length. Alright, maximum overall length of this cartridge is 1 inch 600 thousandths. And the way this is, it comes out to about 1 inch 550 thousandths. Which is good. That means we're under the maximum length by a long shot, and we're lined up with the crimp groove. Now, like I said, I was mistaken to tell you to use this sides case because it's tapered. The expansion plug reflares it out. So it was going too far up in and going too far into the die to hit the crimp groove right. So this is where we should be. And then what I'm going to do is seat the rest of these bullets. Use the flared neck case to find your crimp and that, set it. And then what we're going to do is the next step, once we seat them all, is back this up and wheel it down. And I'll show you the proper crimp that I like. Alright, now that we have all the bullets seated, next step is the crimp. First thing we're going to do is back the seating plug up. Always loosen this. And run our cartridge up in there. And then turn this down. You feel, make sure we're feeling the resistance. See, with that flare, it does touch where that crimp is. Alright, give it a little turn. A little more. And you'll feel it. You'll feel it bite down in there. And it will be visual. Actually, that can go a hair more. That'd be a light, somewhat light crimp. But you kind of want a heavy one. Well, these ain't, if it was a 44 Magnum, you'd want it pretty heavy. There we go. We'll do one now right off from the... Yeah, you can see it. These cases probably aren't all exactly trimmed. Yeah, that one was even heavier. That one, you can see it there. That's why trimming your cases within a few thousandths is exact. But we'll take our gauge block, 45 Colt, make sure they go in flush, and just roll out. That's how you know you got to go. You're not overdoing it. You're not bending the cartridge. Flush, falls out. Alright, that's it, gentlemen. We'll get out to the range and check it out. And I hope this video helps. And like I said, if you like these types of video, get a membership, and then when I go on to another caliber to give load data and tips and that, you could be in on it. Alright, thank you. Hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned.